You wanted it, you got it. Get ready with me while I talk to you about OCD. So, if you've been keeping up with my return to the internet, you know that I have something called obsessive compulsive disorder. And fun fact, October is OCD Awareness Month. And I know that many of you out there have OCD, and if you don't, chances are you know someone who does. So I wanted to make this video to bring awareness to this highly misunderstood medical condition. Now, before we get into what OCD is, let's first make sure we're on the same page about what it isn't. Contrary to what you might have seen in the mainstream media, Exhibit A, this is not OCD. Exhibit B, this is also not OCD. Number 2, the idea that we're all a little OCD or everybody's got a little OCD. No. Just no. That's just simply not true. To my knowledge, nobody is going around saying we're all just a little schizophrenic or we're all just a little dissociative identity disorder. So why are we going around saying we're all a little OCD? That's just silly. If you actually knew what OCD was, you'd probably realize, ooh, yikes, I guess we're not all a little OCD, are we? So what is OCD then, exactly? Well, per the International OCD Foundation, OCD happens when a person gets caught up in a cycle of obsessions and compulsions. So it starts with an obsession, and an obsession can be any type of intrusive thought, image, or urge that, for whatever reason, popped into your head. And the obsession can be about anything. It can be about germs, harm, violence, something inappropriate or disturbing to you in some way. Now, an intrusive thought in itself does not equal OCD. Everyone on this planet has intrusive thoughts at some point. But for someone with a non-OCD brain, they'll get an intrusive thought or image or urge, and they'll just be like, that was a weird thought, or ugh, that was a gross image that just popped into my head, and then just move on with their day. The same exact thought pops into an OCD brain and all of a sudden there's a spin out. Why did this thought just pop into my head? What does this say about me? Am I disgusting? Am I a horrible person? And this thought spiral leads to this excruciating discomfort and distress, and the person with OCD wants to just get rid of it. And they do so by doing a compulsion. A compulsion is basically a ritual. It can be mental or physical. And the ritual is done in an attempt to give the person with OCD relief from the discomfort and distress caused by the obsession. So basically, doing a compulsion provides short-term relief. It's a quick fix. The problem is, when you have OCD, it's never just one compulsion. By all means, if you have OCD and you did the one compulsion that your OCD said, if you just do this, I promise I'll leave you alone forever. If it worked and you did the compulsion and your OCD never showed up again, please let me know. To my knowledge, that has not ever happened. Why? Because OCD simply does not work that way. The more you ritualize, the more your OCD grows, and then the more rituals you end up having to do to satisfy your OCD. And then before you know it, that short-term relief turns into long-term suffering. If left untreated, OCD can and will hijack your life. How do I know this? Because it happened to me. OCD made the things that I love to do, such as doing makeup, content creating. OCD made it absolutely miserable to the point where I stopped doing it altogether. Everything in my life that I love the most, OCD has come for. And that's what's so truly evil about this disorder, is it disguises itself as something that's trying to help you, and meanwhile, it's attacking everything in your life that you love the most. Coming for your values is OCD's manipulative way of trying to get you to do what it wants. If you love your partner and you have relationship OCD, then you might be convinced that you cheated on your partner and don't remember, and then you start compulsively asking them for reassurance, checking your credit card statement over and over again to see if you booked a hotel with a rando and don't remember. OCD can make you believe that the most ridiculous things are true true when they are absolutely not true. If you love your dog, OCD might try to convince you that you're capable of harming your dog and your dog is not safe with you and needs to stay with your mom for a few days just to be safe. OCD can make you feel responsible for anything. You pass by a car accident on your way to work, OCD will try to convince you that you caused that car accident somehow. And then you go to the scene and you ask what happened and they told you nothing that leads you to believe that you caused the car accident, and it's still not enough. You are looking at the car that's in the accident, looking to see if the car in question has paint on it that matches your car. You get the point. OCD is relentless. It stops at nothing. If you're watching this and you're struggling with OCD, you are stuck in that vicious cycle. Hear me when I say this. I know I look a little ridiculous. Try to take me seriously. Hear me when I say, it does not have to be this way. You have suffered long enough. No matter how hopeless it seems, you can get better, but you have to seek the right help. So what is the right help, you ask? There is a specific evidence-based treatment that is used to treat obsessive compulsive disorder, and it is something called exposure and response prevention, or ERP, which is basically doing the exact opposite of what your OCD wants you to do. Sounds easy enough, right? No. It is excruciating. I will not deny that. With ERP, you are deliberately exposing yourself to your triggers, allowing whatever discomfort your OCD throws at you to just be there, and learning over time that you can handle it without doing a compulsion. You are essentially rewiring your brain to calm down. You are teaching your mind and your body that you don't need to be in fight or flight mode every time you experience an intrusive thought, image, or urge. Is ERP easy? No. Is it fun? No. Is it the only way to get out of the OCD cycle and into recovery? You better believe it. I was fortunate enough to receive top-notch treatment from the OCD Institute at McLean Hospital. It was the best decision that I could have possibly made for myself. When I think back to me at the beginning of this year versus now, post-treatment, I am not the same person. The thoughts that made me spin out once upon a time, I can look back at and laugh. And that's a beautiful thing. But in order to get here, I had to learn to live with discomfort, accept uncertainty, disengage with my thoughts, and surrender control. There are so many things that I wish more people knew about OCD. There's so much about OCD that I did not know until this past year, and had I known sooner, perhaps a lot of suffering could have been prevented. Number one, talk therapy can actually make OCD worse. No therapist will be able to talk you out of OCD. Oftentimes, OCD thoughts are completely irrational, and it can be tempting to try and use logic to get yourself out of a thought spiral. However, this is a complete waste of time. Why? Because OCD does not respond to logic. You can challenge your OCD thoughts all day, gather evidence to try and disprove your thought. Oh, this would never happen because XYZ. Guess what? OCD doesn't care. Give OCD unclockable proof that you're not in danger, and it will come up with another "but what if." You cannot talk your way out of OCD. However, through ERP, you can behave your way out of OCD. Number two, OCD is not just a hand-washing disease, although contamination is a subtype of OCD, but there are so many other ways that OCD can show up. There is harm OCD, where you have a fear of causing harm to others or to yourself. There's health OCD, obsessing about contracting a deadly disease. There's somatic OCD, existential OCD, scrupulosity, moral, just right. The list goes on and on. But no matter what subtype you have, it is all treated exactly the same through what? Exposure and response prevention. Number three, if you've watched the video this whole way through thus far, I'd like to think it is clear at this point that we are not all a little OCD. OCD is not a cutesy, quirky personality trait. It is a relentless monster that hijacks your life, but it can be controlled with evidence-based treatment. Number 4, ERP is a must when you're treating OCD. I am speaking from years and years of lived experience with OCD. The only treatment that got me out of the worst episode of OCD I've ever had in my life was ERP. If you are looking for a therapist to help you with your OCD, you have to make sure you are selecting an OCD specialist. And I don't mean they have OCD listed under their areas of expertise in addition to 20 other mental health conditions. I mean someone who is ERP certified. OCD treatment is their bread and butter. That is what you need if you want to recover from OCD. Number 5, sadly, there is no cure for OCD. There is no medication out there as of today that makes OCD just go away. That said, there are medications and supplements out there that can help alleviate the anxiety that comes with ERP treatment, but there is no cure. Getting more sunlight will not cure your OCD. Adding more spinach to your diet will not cure your OCD. Yoga, meditation, exercise, hey, all wonderful things, but they will not cure your OCD. Oh, and if you stumble across a video of that woman who said she cured her son's OCD in 3 days with this dietary supplement, please don't fall for it. I've said it before and I'll say it again, ERP is the gold standard treatment for obsessive compulsive disorder. Number 6, if you are treating your OCD correctly, it will probably get worse before it gets better, but you have to trust that the treatment works. When you have OCD, you have 2 paths in front of you. The OCD path, short-term relief, giving into urges and doing the compulsion, or the recovery path, which is short-term discomfort during ERP, long-term recovery. Short-term relief, long-term suffering, short-term discomfort, long-term recovery. My hope is that you choose the latter. Alrighty, well, this is the finished look, and I hope after watching this video you feel you are more aware of what OCD is, what it is not, how it is treated, and how it is not treated. My hope is that we reach a time when this is all common knowledge, especially among mental health professionals, many of whom do not know how to properly treat OCD. If you're watching this and you have OCD, whether you're struggling or you're in recovery, if you're in the middle of a lapse or a relapse, wherever you are in your recovery journey, I hope you feel seen and validated by this video. Please share this video with someone in your life who you think could benefit from it. Spread the word, spread awareness, and I will see you in the next one. Toodles! A little comic relief. Okay.